President Donald Trump is coming to the defense of his friend, former Brazilian President Jair Bolsonaro. Now, the president announced a sweeping 50% tariff on all Brazilian imports on Wednesday. Why Brazil? Now, he's made a whole lot of claims. I'm going to go debunk some of them, but let's be honest what this is about. This is about trying to protect Bolsonaro, who is currently on trial for his failed 2022 coup attempt. So he lost the election to Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva, who he had previously thrown in jail on phony corruption charges. Okay, so this guy had attempted to do what Trump tried in 2020 to overturn an election. Now, both of those attempts had failed, but where Trump succeeded was still getting back into power because our systems failed to stop him, failed to hold him accountable. Whereas in Brazil, they actually did do what they were supposed to do. And look, Trump had the support of the entire Republican Congress, as well as the Supreme Court, that helped him. And of course, very weak opposition from the Democrats. Whereas Da Silva, he's like, no, you threw me in prison. Now we're going to come after you. Okay, we're coming back. Okay. And so, look, Trump's tariff announcement came after a public war of words with Da Silva, who earlier this week called Trump an unwanted emperor. This world has changed, Lula told reporters while addressing Trump's tariff threat. We don't want an emperor. We are sovereign nations. If he thinks he can impose tariffs, other countries, we have the right to impose tariffs too. Which is true. That's what a trade war is all about. And so, yes, he's true. And look, in his letter to on Wednesday to Da Silva, Trump said the way that, quote, Brazil has treated the former president is an international disgrace. Oh, is it? Look, I can see how a country that actually held their criminal former president accountable would look like a disgrace for Donald Trump, considering that he is also a criminal. Just saying. So he looks and says, oh my God, that could have been me. Oh my God, the guy's just like me. Again, Bolsonaro was called the Brazilian Donald Trump. So yes, he got held accountable, and Trump's like, oh God. Oh no, that could be me.
Oh no!
So yes, put the fear in him, I think. But now he added, quote, we have had years to discuss our trading relationship with Brazil. I know he's still trying to convince everybody that this is about trade. It's not. But he says, we have concluded that we must move away from the longstanding and very unfair trade relationship engendered by Brazil's tariff and non-tariff policies and trade barriers. Our relationship has been, unfortunately, far from reciprocal. He had cited, quote, unsustainable trade deficits against the United States as part of his reasoning. Which ones? Which one? What trade deficit? What trade deficit with Brazil? And let me give you the details on that. As of last year, the U.S. actually had a trade surplus of $7.4 billion with Brazil. What trade deficit? You were lying, son. You are an absolute gaslighting, lying piece of shit. Okay, really? But of course, maybe now he just created a trade deficit, so good job, because they ain't gonna buy our stuff no more. Congratulations. But all of this is about, of course, helping and defending his buddy Bolsonaro. He called this trial a, quote, witch hunt and claimed that Bolsonaro is not guilty of anything. This trial should not be taking place. It is a witch hunt that should end immediately. Trump also accused the Brazilian government of making, quote, insidious attacks on free elections. Oh, the projection is off the charts. And the fundamental free speech rights of Americans, including by censoring U.S. social media platforms. You know, like X. Yes. Now look, here's the thing on that. Recently, Brazil's Supreme Court found that social media companies just can be held accountable for information and content posted to their platforms. Essentially, they got rid of their version of Section 230, right? And so I think that's likely because they want to combat fake news. Now, fake news overwhelmingly, and there are studies to prove this, to back this up, fake news comes overwhelmingly from the right wing. It comes from Russian bots and trolls, American bots and trolls. It comes from Elon Musk. And guess what? It comes from Donald freaking Trump putting out fake news. So, yeah, I get why they did this. I get it. I have a slight disagreement with holding the platforms accountable for what the users do. I do think that invites a little bit of censorship, and so I'm not comfortable with that. And the reason that is because I know that stuff like this usually ends up getting used against the left. I'm just saying, at least in America. Okay. But that said, I get why they're doing it. Okay. But regardless, right, of that, obviously Trump's only real issue here is, oh my God, they came after Bolsonaro, and I just don't want that to happen to me here. That's it. He also wants to punish a left-wing leader for attempting to hold a criminal accountable, and he's using our trade and our foreign policy to try to do it. It's gross. Henry J. Barkey, a adjunct senior fellow for the Middle East Studies and at the Council on Foreign Relations, spoke to Newsweek and said this about what's going on. Quote, he talks about Bolsonaro not getting a fair deal, but when Marine Le Pen, the leader of France's far-right political party, was convicted by the French court system, which is completely independent of the presidency, he lambasted the French for convicting her. Once again, another far-right leader being held accountable for their crimes. It's interesting he's going after Brazil now with tariffs, which doesn't make sense because Brazil has a trade deficit with the U.S., but personal connections matter to Trump, and Bolsonaro is somebody he obviously has sympathy for. And there you go. 100%. Look, I hope that Brazil continues to stand strong against the Trump regime and does what we in the United States, as a result of our weak opposition party, failed to do in actually holding their criminal former president accountable. So great job, Brazil. Great job, Lula. Keep at it. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe, hit the bell icon in order to get notified whenever a new video is released. And if you want to support independent, progressive media through this difficult time where it seems like everybody is shutting down, you can become a member on our YouTube page, you can become a subscriber on Facebook, or you can go to my Patreon. It's patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf. Thank you.